Yes, so here's Guido from the Goal Trainers, the True Potential podcast. Today we have a special guest again. It's Philipp. Philipp from GORNATION. GORNATION started out as a brand with calendars, and now it's revolutionizing the quality of the calisthenics clothing. And you are mostly known by people as the calisthenics brand on Instagram, over 25K following now, and up and running because it's your mission to inspire and get 1 million people together and move them. Let them move, right? Philip, thanks for being here.
Thanks for the invitation, Guido.
Yes, man. And you started with calendars. I heard it many times from you, but I'm very curious, like GORNATION as a developing idea from the living room that you started out, or maybe your bedroom even. It was not always clothing, right?
No, that's true. Like the idea was always when I worked out. Like the front story of GORNATION is I started calisthenics with YouTube videos from Hannibal for King, who inspired a lot of people, I guess. And I was just so skinny. I wasn't happy with my body. I wasn't happy with my person in general, and I just started working out and saw it as a way to improve, to develop myself. And then I moved out from home and said, yeah, this is the new step for my self-development as well. And I moved to Münster in Germany, and I met like a community of calisthenics athletes. And yeah, I just saw that calisthenics changes a lot of people and influences them and pushes them into self-development and stuff like that. So I got to love the sport even more, and started to think, yeah, I don't want to do studies. I hated my studies, my French studies. And I thought, yeah, why not make it my job to unite all these people, and to build a brand, like a roof or a house where everybody who wants to do calisthenics and wants to improve himself is welcome. And yeah, this is where GORNATION started. And as I was like 19 years old, I thought, yeah, a calendar, this is the best thing ever. You know, everybody needs a calendar with a nice photo for inspiration in his bedroom or something. And I was totally wrong. Nobody needed a calendar for the wall, and it failed miserably. And the friend with whom I started it, like he left the company quite quickly. And yeah, that's where we started, with a failed calendar. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you at some point you decided to take it over because a friend stepped out, and you said, "No, I'm gonna do things different." Right? How did it develop?
Yeah, like my friends stepped out, and I told it to my family, and I still remember the words of my grandfather, who I'm really close to, and he said, Philip, you see everything so positively, but honestly, I think you should quit as well, and it won't work. And I'm a really contrary person, and if you tell me I can't do something, I have to prove you that you're wrong, and I can do it. Like, and this is what like provoked me so much that I thought, oh, I will show it to you. And yeah, the next step was really what was the main idea also of GORNATION, to do t-shirts and to do clothing, and high quality clothing, because there was one event. I was on the FIBO, the biggest fitness expo in Cologne, and I was really a fanboy, and there were so many athletes. I bought a t-shirt for 25 euros even at the booth, and with this t-shirt, I put it on immediately. I went to every calisthenics athlete that I admired and asked him to do a signature on the back, and everybody signed my shirt, etc. I was so happy, and I went home. And when I put the t-shirt into the washing machine, I was scared that the signatures would go off, but it wasn't the signatures that went off, but the logo on the front that I paid like 25 euros for. And that was so disappointing for me that I said, yeah, this isn't good. Like a sport that has such a big potential, and that improves people's lives so much. And then such low quality clothing and really a clothing that's connected to an emotion. And I thought, yeah, I have to change that.
Yeah. So it was also your own disappointment in a t-shirt that you bought there that really triggered you, like, hey, we have to up level the quality of this sport and this connection, because if we're gonna build really calisthenics out in the world, we don't want the association to cheap clothing, right? We want to associate it with quality.
That's it. Yeah.
Quality bodies, quality clothing.
Yeah. Well said. Our next claim. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's how in these conversations they come up. Yeah, that's beautiful. I really love that, especially also the fact that you didn't really know like how to do it. It was more that you just knew a little bit about Instagram and about like what you wanted for quality in the clothing and how to connect the dots. Like, let's say somebody would be starting out right now, and maybe not even with a clothing brand, but just as a brand. Are there some insights that you learned along the way that you could give tips about?
Yeah. So honestly, when I look back on my starting, if I would have known what I have to respect and what I have to take care of, I think I wouldn't have done it, or would have taken more time to do it because of the doubts, etc. So for me, it was really good that I wasn't informed what to do. Like I still remember in the beginning, I threw away every letter that I received, every receipt, every invoice, because I thought I will not need it anymore. And a year later, when I had to collect all the invoices, he said, right, they were all thrown away, and stuff like that. I didn't respect in the beginning, but like something that I want to share, or that I share with everyone who's starting his own brand, that it's more important in these days where everybody's just looking on the big numbers. And you also said like 25k followers on Instagram. Everybody's just looking on the big numbers, but I'm like a big fan and a big believer in that it's more important to start with a few people in the beginning who are really fans and not only followers. I see a big difference between followers and fans. And win the first fans of your brand in the beginning. That's the most important thing, because a brand can have 100k followers, but like 10 fans or something, and that's not good. And your goal should be to have like a big number in your Instagram, but to have people buying every product that you make. So, because for me it means support. It means seeing similarities in you and a brand. So win fans, not followers. That's the first thing, and I can tell you, and that I give as advice. And like I'm a big friend of first moving, like not perfectionism. That's something that I know a lot of people who would be good business people and who have a really good idea, but they don't start. They want everything to be set up. They want the perfect business to start with, and that's not good, I guess. Because it's really important to be the first mover, to go out with a product. There's the theory of the book, The Lean Startup, to go out with an MVP, with a really small product. That means the most important feature of a product should be the thing that you launch. And for example, for an app, the main function should be good, but the design is not important in the beginning. The other features are not important in the beginning. You should start with the most important thing, focus on one thing only, and start moving and not overthinking.
Yeah, before you already like spend a lot of time and money on the whole picture, you really focus on like the core, on the problem that it's solving, and then fill the rest in later when you get some people in that are really like actually buying it.
That's true. For example, like a podcast. when you start a podcast, it's not important to have a logo, to have a really cool name for it, to have an intro, to have a sound, to have stuff like that. That's not important. Take your iPhone, do the voice audio, do an audio, and then upload it, and then wait for feedback, share it to your friends. And with this feedback, you can improve from every episode to every episode, but you don't have to start perfect. And I say I win in a lot of against a lot of brands or in a lot of things, because I'm just the first mover. I'm not scared to launch something that's not perfect yet, but I'm ready to improve on the way. And I'm a big believer that it's more important to keep going, to start going for and just improve on the way.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And I remember as well, like, 2 years ago, you were actually visiting in Gran Canaria, and you were with your girlfriend, and then you said, like, hey, we got now a big order from Canada, right? Like, there was like, quite some order, like 150 or something. I don't even know like what the exact amount was, but it was just like a point that I realized that's really like building something globally, right?
Yeah.
And that's also the point that I thought, like, but this guy, was visiting me already a year ago in the Netherlands. Now he's here visiting me in Gran Canaria, and really following up with what he said and what his vision was about where he wanted to take the brand and about how he wants to unite people, right? And how is that going for you right now? Like, what are things that Philip is focusing on a normal day?
Philip is focusing like the first important thing is people are good, because you can have awesome products, you can have like a nice office, etc. But for me, the most important thing is that people are good. And that's what do I mean with this is I have to be good. Like I have to feel good on a work day, because otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here and taking time to talk here, because I would be focusing on the bad things or stuff like that. My employees, my coworkers, they have to be good. Like they have to feel good. They have to be happy. They have to be motivated, etc. And the third thing is that the customers are have to be happy. And if these three things are good, I think the job of a manager or CEO, however you want to call it, is already like done to a big part. Because if people are good, like if I'm able to motivate my three coworkers to work hard and to be happy and stuff like that, I think they can grow much more than I can, or do their work much more than I could ever do. Because I am focusing, my head is full with all the stuff that I have to think about, and they have like they can focus on one task only. So I'm really focusing most of the day on making everybody feel good in my surrounding, networking with people like we do, solving problems for people, even if it doesn't always mean that I earn money from it, but just, for example, I can help some influencers with their online marketing. I can help gym with their website and give them some advice and stuff like that, that always lead to a positive karma account. And that's what I believe in, like karma. So but then, of course, the product side is really important. It's important for me to improve on the products every day, to have our influencers, our partners feel good, stuff like that. That's like basically the main thing that I focus in the day.
People person,
yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. Do you have some tips or something that you say, like, hey, that's really what I would do to uplift the energy in myself or in my area, the mood?
I think people don't reward, like, is the bad word, but I don't know the English word, but when I tell you that you did something well,
Compliment.
complement. I think that's a big part that's neglected by a lot of people. It doesn't hurt me, or like it doesn't take anything away from me when I tell you that you're doing a good job and you did like good work. And this is like a really, really important thing, because the thing that I'm convinced of, that people strive, the most important thing people strive for is attention and care, like caring, that I care of them and that I understand them.
Yeah, the feeling also.
Yeah. And this is why, like, when you take care, when you try to understand people, when you show them that you understand them, that's already a big part. And in communication, and the book How to Win Friends and Influence People is something that I'm really convinced of, that this is a big theory, and some people are really well already doing this subconsciously through their parents, whatever. But you should read that book if you have a job where you work together with people, or you just want to have better relationships, better friendships, etc. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a good book.
Dale Carnegie it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will make a link in the description for people if they want to see which book exactly, if they haven't read it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome tips already. So, Philipp, GORNATION right now, you're bringing out bands, you're bringing out straps, you're bringing out a lot of different things. Like, what is the core still of your brand? Where's like GORNATION? What are the flagship products?
Yeah. What is my mission on this earth? And that's not meant only like that's not meant specifically spiritually, for example, but I'm convinced that I am here to bring value to this world and to improve people's lives. And how can I do it? It's I can do it through inspiration, through motivation. That was the point of every clothing, and also the calendar that we ever did was just to give people the possibility to show, yeah, I do calisthenics, to connect with other people. Oh, you know GORNATION as well, you do calisthenics, right? Me too, let's train together. Yeah. And like this is the big part, but in general it's people, to make people feel better. So even I see also my social media content as a product, and when I share stuff, when I share motivational quotes, some advice, for example, New Year, we shared some goal setting advice, and people really liked it. And for me, it's the same benefit that we bring in solving, for example, wrist problems with wrist wraps, and sharing goal setting advice, because it both improves the people's lives, it improves their results in calisthenics, it takes pain away from not reaching the potential that they know they have. And yeah, overall this is like the mission, to improve people's lives, and specifically for people who do calisthenics, who do bodyweight fitness, functional fitness, who want to move without any excuse of not having a gym or something.
Awesome. So a tip on goal setting. I heard like you give goal setting advice. Like, what would be your best tip, or maybe tips that you say like this is really important when you're gonna set goals?
I'm a big fan of the SMART goal setting technique. They take SMART, the word SMART, and every letter is for a guideline of a goal. So SMART begins with S. It should be specific. It shouldn't be I don't want to. I'm not sure about the single letters, what they mean specifically. So if you're interested in, you can just Google it. But in general, it means take measurable goals, specific goals. Like it doesn't bring any value to you to say, I want to lose weight. But you should say, yeah, I want to lose 1 kilo in the next 2 months. So make it really measurable. And that's where you already saw the second thing, T for terminable. It should be it should have a time frame, and it should have like a specific time where you want to have achieved this goal. And you know, stuff like that, that's really, really important. Not take too big goals, but because many people say, yeah, just put yourself the biggest goal ever. I did that for a long time, and I saw how demotivating it can be for a team or a person if you always put a really, really big goal for yourself, and you reach it one of 12 times. That's not like really good, in my opinion. Because you never reward yourself and say, yeah, I just reached my goal, and I just lived up to my potential. So yeah, this is something, not take realistic goal. That's, for example, the R of the SMART, realistic, terminable, specific, measurable, and yeah, the A.
The A was acceptable or something, no?
Acceptable? Yeah, I'm not sure. Could be.
Anyway, what it is for me is interesting that you say that. At the same time, you have a mission, right? Like a vision of uniting 1 million people, and that's quite a big goal. But it's more like a vision. It's like a North Star where GORNATION is moving towards, right? So in this process, do I say it right? If you have like steps, like on the way towards that bigger vision.
Yeah, that's like, I'm not, I know what you mean, and I always like, I'm not a, how to say it, like, I'm a really general person. I won't be able to tell you what specifically it means to say, what's the mission, what's the difference between a mission and a vision. But I get what you mean. Like the vision is, of course, the big thing, the uniting 1 million people, and the mission is like the more clear thing. The more clear thing, and the more the path to the vision,
to achieve that. Yeah. So Philip, look, you're a young guy, for people that are watching and think like, fuck, like, how did Philip do that all? Let's say you would have a conversation with a young Philip, the Philip that just started out with GORNATION, really in the beginning stage. You would have a conversation with the ability to talk, to give some advice, or ask some different questions. How would you say that? How would you approach the Philip that just started out?
Yeah, that's a good question. Don't overthink. So start. But on the other hand, like, it's always like, I see it as a balance. You have to keep a balance between not overthinking and laying a good foundation. Because, for example, if you have an online shop, and you want to sell something, and it works really well how you imagined it, and even better, and it sells like crazy and stuff like that. But if you don't have a good foundation, and for example, there isn't a logistics company who ships your stuff, but it's you from your bedroom, how I did it in the beginning, it's the foundation is not scalable. You want to visit your parents for a weekend, but you're not allowed to, because in the weekend you should prepare all the packages,
shipping,
and all the shipping. So don't overthink, but lay the foundation for a scalable and a scalable structure. This is something that I would recommend. And the second thing is, I just know the negative word. I'm a cheap person, but I'm I always take care that it doesn't cost much. I'm like
You're focused on leaning in on the cost.
Yeah, and that's not always good. It has some advantages, and if it would have just advantages, I would have got it away directly. But it's really important to not just look on the cost side, but also look on the improvement side. Like, for example, if I say I have 2 ad agencies, the one charges €10 per month, but they bring me 50 euros, and the other costs like 1,000, but they bring me 5 million in sales every month. And if I would say 5,000, no, that's too expensive. Like, honestly, you're too expensive. 5,000, I will never pay this. This is like stupid. And you should always take the relation between investing and getting it what you get out, and that's not only meant for money but also for time. So if a project needs 10 hours but it's like really really worth it, then you shouldn't just avoid it because it takes so much time.
Clear, man. Clear. Definitely don't avoid it. So yeah, it's an interesting tip, man. And now, like, let me jump back for a second to what's now GORNATION's main products. Like you have a lot of things on your website, and I see a lot of athletes that are really next level, doing all kinds of tricks and skills. What is GORNATION like the main now with 1, 2, 3 products do you get like the most sales from, the most orders?
Before you said the last question, I wanted to say our main product is the community, because for me nothing would work without the community, I guess. Because that's the main thing that stands for GORNATION. But in general, it's our wrist wraps, it's our elbow sleeves, and it's our vintage tank top that you see a lot of athletes perform with, and on all the national championships there's somebody who wears it, or the world championship, etc. So these 3 products are really the ones who hit the best.
Cool, man. Cool, man. Is there like now a way that you are looking to this time, and what kind of insights does this time give you? We spoke about it a little bit before we started recording. What are like insights that you get from this turbulent times?
So these times are really a big test, I guess, and we're talking about Corona in case somebody listens to this in 2024 and wonders, oh, what are they talking about? And yeah, I see a lot of people being tested by this situation, because they have to close their gyms. They they lose their stuff, or people lose their jobs. Like a lot of stuff is happening right now. I have to say that we as GORNATION, we're not too much influenced by it. Like, of course we are influenced because we also get our products from factories. Factories are closed. People are not allowed to work so much and stuff like that. But what do I learn from these times is really that it's important to stand on multiple legs. I would say, like a table that's only balancing on one leg, but this leg is big. It's quite easy to push it around. And if you have like a table that's on more legs, and it's more stable. So with legs, I mean stuff like having online coaching, having different products, and also different branches that you work in. For example, B2C, like business to customer, you have an online shop. Then also you this is the online B2C side. Then you have an offline B2C side. This means you have a shop somewhere, or an event where you can sell. Then you have a B2B side, so you deliver to supermarkets your product, for example, and they distribute it. And the fourth thing is that you do like that you work as a consultant, and that you have a service that you can offer to a company. So like, I think people who are just on one leg, they have big problems. For example, the old man who has a barber shop, like on my street, somebody has a barber shop. He's an old man. He always complains that everything is so expensive, like the rent, etc. And now he has to close like for 2 months. And I'm scared for him, because I know it's the only way of income. The only way he generates income. And yeah, I learned in this time that it's important to stand on multiple works and income streams.
Interesting. So GORNATION is doing, of course, a lot of different products, and you're also standing on events and then bigger fairs. Are there any other things that you do then next to that?
Of course, we we have the events that are totally broken this year, and I don't think that any event will happen this year. It's like yeah, just my thought. I will see. But we also produce clothing for groups, calisthenics groups and companies, like we did for the gold trainers. And this is like our B2B side. What's also quite difficult at the moment, because like the calisthenics groups can't train together, the companies have other financial doubts at the moment than having new clothing for their employees. So yeah, these are the main pillars that we are working on.
Yeah. And I know from like meeting you also in person, you're quite a big fan of reading. And you mentioned already one book. Are there other books or one book that you really recommend?
Wow, that's a good question, because I know, like, if somebody tells me his story, I always have a book in my head that will help him, or that will give him some ideas. But general to say, a general book is Think and Grow Rich. I think this book opens up the mind for new possibilities, for the mindset that it takes to be to be successful and happy. And yeah, like, this is the main thing, the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, old book already. A lot of interesting. So you're opening the mind with that book. That's fascinating. Do you have like an example yourself that you look like through, like a brand or maybe a person, an influence, or maybe it's already a person that passed away that you look to yourself, that you think like that is really an inspiring character for me?
I'm a really big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger. For me, he's really inspiring, because he just he's a great businessman. So he did a lot of businesses, like he did his construction company, he was his author, he had he had so many businesses, sold supplements. He's the most successful bodybuilder these times. And yeah, for me, he's really inspirational, because he makes the most of his time. And yeah, through my story, my personal story, I know that time is really valuable, and that anything can happen really fast and unexpected. So I'm a really big fan of using your time right. And he's one example for me that he did it, and he's using his time right.
Yeah. Awesome. So your best tips to spend your morning routine, like what's your ideal morning routine for you?
Okay. I tried a lot of stuff. I'm a big fan of stretching in the morning. I have to be honest to everybody. I don't always I don't always do my morning routine. So I don't call it morning routine, because for me it's not a routine, but a morning, morning habit or something. Stretching is really good, because in the morning you're really stiff, and it's like some kind of meditation. For me, stretching means you can do yoga, you can do or you can just do basic stretching. But for me, it comes together with some kind of meditation, feeling your body, being aware, having some minutes after waking up, without all the distractions, all the ideas and stuff that come through social media, through stuff like that.
Exactly, man.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a fantastic tip, especially for people that are doing things where they need some headspace, right? You have to empty in order to fill up again with new things. And yeah, so many times, like, you hear people that are consuming a lot without ever emptying, and that's when you can come in this burnout zone, or stressing, or being influenced a lot by things around you. So Philip, yeah, I want to leave this with like a GORNATION. What's gonna be on the menu this year, man? Are you gonna do any new things? Like, what's your vision of this year for GORNATION?
Yeah. So we will be first mover in a lot of new products, and like I don't want to go too deep because I'm like our strategy for this year is really taking taking the products and making them perfect and then launch them and then really not announcing too much and not executing. So I don't want to take too many things in consideration here, but in general this year will be like crazy, where I think a lot of people are struggling, and like it's not even meant as an yeah, I don't want to accuse people of being lazy in these days, but I'm like convinced that we will take these times, we will use our time, we will work hard, we will really take this mindset that I have of working hard when people tell you to stop, that we will take this and really boost GORNATION to a new level. So a lot of new products, a lot of new a lot of growth, a lot of people being influenced, a lot of input, and this is what we are doing this year. And I can just tell everybody, don't rest because everybody's resting right now and playing a lot of video games and just laying around in your apartment. That's not the thing to do right now, I guess. And if you want to do something great, starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, starting to write your book, whatever, like getting fit, do it now, because I think this year is really time to execute, because there are no distractions.
Don't rest because of everybody's resting.
Yeah.
Let's finish there, man. I want to thank you so much for being here, Philip. Thanks. And I mean, we said it a lot, but what's the main thing, a place where people can find you and then your brand?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. I guess it's the easiest. So when I guess you will put my name into the description, etc.
Yes.
But you will find me on Instagram, and you can contact me if you have any questions, if you want to explain me your situation, and to recommend you a good book without affiliate link. I'm happy to help. Like honestly, if you have anything. And GORNATION you find also on Instagram. You find us on YouTube. You find us on our website with all the products on Amazon, on Amazon in Netherlands soon. And you find us there.
Yes, Philip, thank you, man. Say big greetings to your girlfriend and Frederik from the team. I think was there more Iris?
Iris is not working at GORNATION anymore.
Okay.
She took another step, but I'll say hello to Lissy and Frederik.
And the rest, man.
The rest.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, Philip.
Thanks for the invitation, Guido. Thanks to everybody for listening.
And hasta. Stay fly with GORNATION.
Stay fly.